Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
It's my honor and privilege today to put before you the second webinar of the year 2021.
Oh,
And it is the 12th webinar since we started in 2019. I am happy to share with you today that it is an auspicious occasion that we have two wedding anniversaries, one of Dr. Vishwala Parthasathi's madam, and secondly of Dr. Akshay Banker of Toronto. So I wish both the couples a long, healthy, prosperous, happy wedding anniversary, not only from myself, but from the whole team of NJH. Today's webinar, the topic is the magic of minimum dose. And we have two dynamic speakers, namely Dr. Vaishali Bhagat and Dr. Satish Kanodia. I would like to request Madam to inaugurate the session by saying a few words. Over to you, Madam.
thank you, Jagos. That's very kind of you. So 12th number, of course, is for us a very, very special number in the world. I think nobody can do without the number 12, right? Anybody can do without it? Anybody can tell me what is so special about 12? Apart from it being the 12th webinar, of course. So it is the time when they divided the time which it took the earth to revolve around the sun, they make the 12 months. Then you have the 12th, of course, the signs of the zodiac. And you have, its 12 number is a symbol of love and light. If you take from the Bible, the 12 important joyous words, they are charity, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, mildness, faith, modesty, chastity, and self-control. So everything good is to do with number 12. The clock also has 12 digits. And anything we say, so we go to the market, everyday's words. We always say, ek dozen ye de do, ya other dozen de do. And today's our webinar has quarter dozen people, whom we wish great success. And so just a little bit about the speakers. We have Dr. Vaishali Bhagat, who is a professor from the Bharati Vidyapeeth, and the host is Dr. Jagos, who is from DY Patil, Pune, so it's a Pune heavy. And Satish, of course, Dr. Satish, anybody who has dealt with NJH knows that no article passes on when it goes through him. But the fourth, I'm going to ask Bhaskar Bhai, who is our favorite to-go person in NJH, our honorary advisor, the just past president of the HOMI. And anytime we have a problem and we go to him, there's no time that we will not find a solution. So can I ask Bhaskar Bhai to flag off this 12 very nice number webinar today?
Thank you very much, Dr. Vishwala. And thanks to the NJH team that I'm here. Today is a definitely special day. And we all wish you a very, very happy anniversary.
Thank you.
And we wish you health, happiness, and joyful years ahead.
Thank you.
Before we start the webinar, I would like to talk about something. I would like to travel to my memory lane, that how I came to know or came to NJH actually. In late 80s, I read a book on lachesis and sepia. And author was known, but I had never met her, Dr. Sarla Sonawala. So we decided to call her for a seminar at Ahmedabad. And she definitely not only agreed to our invitation, but gracefully talked about not only lachesis and sepia, but her experiences, knowledge. And she and Dr. Vishwala both came to Ahmedabad in the 1990, and they left a lifelong impression on all of us. And we realized that, yes, there is a lot to learn from these people, and we should meet them on and off. Within 2 years, when NJH, National Journal of Homeopathy, was began, I was working with a trust. The trustee said, select 3 best articles from this magazine in the first year, 1992. So I have started reading reading this NJH, and then it becomes a hobby, it becomes an addiction. Rather, I will say I learned many, many things in these years. And I will say I grew up with it. Even after that, I will say since last 10 years, I've been working with this group, the team leader, Dr. Vishpala, and all other team members. And with dedication, they work. With hard work, they are actually working for the NJH is something I had never seen in so many organizations. This is one journal where everyone is putting the best, including editor, writers, etc. People are learning from various schools of prescribers over here. So you will get everything over here from different schools. And that is interesting. The witty lines and catchy photos by Dr. Asrani are wonderful. I will say, I'm not saying these things to the editorial board, but to the people who are listening, that if you have not joined it, join this magazine. This is one part where learning and learning is the main motto. Rather, I'll say the NJS team is working so hard. Apart from this magazine, Dr. Salah Sonawala Memorial Seminar every year since last 25 years. NJH Bytes, a new format on the online. NJH Tuesday cases on Telegram, where our board members are putting various cases for discussion, and more than 1,000 members are seeing it, reading it, learning from it actually. Apart from that, NJH Online is another feature which is already running. And nowadays, the webinars that have been there in the past, last year, they are placed on the YouTube, NJH YouTube channel. So think that what kind of job NJH is doing for the people or for homeopathy. Rather, it is our motto to share knowledge, to enrich the new generation with homeopathy, to bring together the various stream of homeopathic prescribers and to pass on the light and flame to the next generation. I'm very happy to be with here, and today I'm wishing all the good luck to Dr. Vaishali, Dr. Satish, and Dr. Jagos for the webinar. All the best. Carry on, friends. And dear friends, listen carefully. You are learning a lot. Thank you very much. Over to Dr. Jagos.
Thank you, sir, very much. So today, without wasting much time, let us go ahead and see what the two speakers have for us in store today. Well, I'm happy to also to announce that every time we are holding a webinar, the number of participants are increasing and they are joining this platform so that they can learn and they can share their knowledge. So let me first introduce my first speaker, Dr. Vaishali Bhagat. Dr. Mrs. Vaishali Bhagat, she has done a BHMS and MD Home from Dondumama Sate Homeopathic Medical College. And at present, she's pursuing her PhD from the MUHS University. She's an associate professor at Bharati Vidyapet to be deemed University Homeopathic Medical College in Pune. Well, she has an academic experience of over 25 years, and she works in this beautiful campus of Bharati Vidyapet deemed University. I feel you all should go once and at least see the university and the college. It is a very beautiful college and a very beautiful campus. She's an associate professor in the Department of Anatomy, and she's very dedicated in her work. And besides this, she has got many other duties also in the college. Rather, I can say she's overburdened with the different duties in the college because of her hard work and dedication, which is appreciated by one and all in the college. She has a professional experience of 27 years. She practices at Pune and she excels in cases of hormonal imbalance, PCOS, PCOD, skin complaints like acne, psoriasis, lichen planus, allergies, etc. So as you all can see in the first photograph here, before the lockdown, she was practicing, and even after lockdown, it hasn't National Journal of Advanced Ayurvedic Yoga, Unani, and Homeopathy. The title being Comparative Study of CNS Effects of Opium in Homeopathic Potency with Pentosine in Mice 2013, and has also published many articles in the reputed journals, including NJH. She has presented various papers and workshops of various conferences and seminars, one being the National Journal of Homeopathy and also the GPCon of Mumbai and Pune. She's also won in 2012 the Best Teacher Award and in 2014 the Best Technical Award from her college. Well, the other achievements are that she's a great dancer also, and she's won awards for the best dance performance in college. And also, she takes part in other cultural activities and is a good sportsman in kabaddi, table tennis, and in badminton. So now may I request Dr. Vaishali Bhagat to please start her presentation. Dr. Vaishali, over to you. Dr. Vaishali.
Thank you, Dr. Zagos. It's been a very kind words for me and a very stupendous introduction, I will say. I simply am so humbled and I'm speechless with whatever you have shown now, and you have taken a great effort in introducing me. You are a good friend of mine. That's the reason. The platform, the Almighty, to give me this opportunity to speak on this auspicious occasion. As ma'am has always told that now the 12 number is very auspicious, and today the most auspicious day of their marriage anniversary, and my good luck to be present over here and to give a short speech and a short presentation on magic of minimum dose. Without wasting time, I will start the presentation. And there is a magic. Now, what is this magic? The magic of Harry Potter. You all know what is the magic. And all are versed with this Harry Potter and with his magic wand. The magic wand which he does it is not very similar to magic of homeopathy. But as the topic of this today's seminar was coined by spontaneously during our meeting by Vishpala Madam and Kanoja sir, my associate speaker today, that let us talk on the magic of minimum dose. Though we don't agree with it, but from my presentation, I'm sure that you will appreciate that yes, homeopathy is a magic and it might turn a miracle if we follow the true principles of homeopathy. Let us go ahead with the magic word. Who has coined this? May I know, have you recognized this face? I'm sure most of you must have not recognized. It's this is a long story, a long time. In the way 1906, Dr. Dorothy Shefford coined this word in her book, Magic of Minimum Dose. And she said, there is no sickness, only sick people. And let us tribute her also today and remember this great lady, along with our giant lady, who has given me this opportunity to speak in front, not to forget Dr. Vishpala ma'am. The two books of her, Magic of the Minimum Dose and More Magic of the Minimum Dose, she has written impressive case histories in her books. And if you go through this book, she has rightly said that I must admit that homeopathy has never let me down. Homeopathy is a lifelong study. It requires the burning of midnight oil, but it is worthwhile. When she has written the book, in her preface, she said that this magic word, I have deliberately taken it. You must not mistake it with magic and miracle. Homeopathy is been based on science, and this word magic has come from mag, the mag, or sage, and or the priest, which is also called as Matwin, which meant secret philosophy and high wisdom. She said that this word is important for homeopathy because this high wisdom and power and forces are hidden in the infinitesimal minimum doses, which are the spirits of the medicinal substances and agents. And there we go with the principles of homeopathy. I'm not going to go into the details of all the 7 cardinal principles, but today's topic is for the 3rd cardinal principle, that is the law of minimum dose. And we should not forget that these cardinal principles laid by our master, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, in his Organon of Medicine, has effectively proven till now in the last 200 years. It is only put on us that we are supposed to show these magic performances by our able performance of homeopathy. And as in the previous seminars where we have given a tribute to Dr. Praful Vijayakar, Dr. Rajan Shankaran rightly said that we have to glorify our small results to this world to keep homeopathy for. And as he rightly said, let us go through these 2 cases. One is an acute case and one is a chronic case of mine to understand that was there a really magic in our minimum dose. So let me spare this magic band of human around you listeners today and the audiences. Let me go through the first case, which is a case of a small boy, 6 years old, who came to me with the diagnosis of balanitis and phimosis. Let us know what is balanitis, and I may not go into detail about it as you all are graduate homeopaths and practitioners. So, an inflammation of the glands and phimosis, which was a tight foreskin in this boy, usually happens at the age of 3 to 6. The whole organ of the penis is inflamed. It can reach to the scrotum, and the normal and the what is seen as a phimosis was observed. Now this boy had come late night. His mother, who was a school teacher, maths teacher, brought him. She was a regular patient to me for arthritis, and she used to bring her elder daughter for her allergic rhinitis. She never got this boy to me as he was diagnosed with ADHD long back in the schools. He was been given treatment from the counselors. One late night, he came to me, and at I was observing him. I got him in the clinic late night at 10 o'clock, and he was sitting in my examination table. His mother said that, look at him, I think you need to check his genitals. I said, why? There is a large swelling. I don't know how this boy got this large swelling, but he is constantly pricking his genitals. I digged up the history and went into his details and carefully observing him and asking her questions about his mentals. The main observations to me was that this boy was constantly fiddling with his genitals. He was hyperactive, very irritable, weeping, but not loudly, but yes, sensitive. If he was crossed, he would cry. He would be violent. He would be so angry with his mother. He used to strike the mother. He was very afraid being alone. He wanted to sleep with his parents, but his parents made him sleep in another room. But then he used to say, okay, mom, keep the lights on. When he had come to my clinic, I observed that he is talking for a long time, very loudly, and only on the one subject, that was a train. I didn't know why he is speaking of the train. I asked his mother, why he is speaking of train so much. He said he has a fascination of train, the speed of the train. From yesterday onwards, he is talking about his train. And constantly he is handling his genitals. I said, what all he does at home? So he said he does many pranks, he jumps, he has monkey jumps, and he's afraid of dogs. I examined him. He, the scrotum and the penis was inflamed and swollen. He was febrile, and that time he was asking water to his mouth. He had craving for sweets and chocolates, and he had come wearing sweaters and a muffler and that. So what did I give him? Now this repetization is not that repetization. It's a retrospective repetization. So if you see carefully, in the repetization, you will observe certain remedies which are coming forth. Now, can I ask you, which will be the remedies which will come forth? You can quickly chat, or you can just put it on the chat box. Okay, so we have pulsatilla, the remedy, yes. We have belladonna, we have stramonium, we have mercury, we have nux vomica, right? We have lycopodium. Now, what did I consider? Which are the points to be considered for pulsatilla? So we considered the points of pulsatilla as pulsatilla would have been timid, thirsty, crying, and howling and pitting. Belladonna would have been very febrile, which he was not at that time. Yes, activity would have been restlessness, anxiety would have been there. Stramonium, he was active, talking of one subject constantly. There was loquacity, there was loudness in him, there was striking to his mother. Nux vomica, yes, there was mercury. The next was mercury. Mercury would have been a destructive. He would have been febrile with pain, lot of pain. Nux vomica would have been an angry and irritable person. Lycopodium, a puny boy. So I went, again, this was a retrospective study for acute prescribing. We need into some levels to understand. And these levels of activity, of increased activity, the verbal part, the loquacity part, talking on one subject constantly. And there were 3 remedies which came forth. The 3 remedies were argentum nitricum, cannabis indica, and stramonium. I would like to say that that time, at that hour, I didn't have time to open this Zomeo acute expert system. Yes, later on I did see it. But at that time, I just opened my Concordant Materia Medica of Franz Vermeulen, and I saw these 3 remedies, few remedies which were coming forth. And at that time, I gave stramonium, 1 3 doses. 1 at start, and I told her that yes, give it after 2 hours if it is not okay, or then we have to take her to a pediatric hospital. Next day, there was magic of our minimum dose, and the swelling resolved. She talked to me the next day that this boy slept quietly in his bedroom after the dose which you had given it right in the clinic. I said, yes, good. And what happened? He said, you won't believe me. I had off the light. This boy never slept with an off light. He used to grumble that he wants the light on when he was sleeping. And then this lady.
Hello, I'm Anupama here. Today I'm here to share with you a miracle that happened with homeopathic medicine. This happened when my son was 6 years old. He was into the habit of playing with his genitals. One evening I saw him pulling it quite hard. I stopped him then, but later at night when I was changing him, I saw his genitals were swollen to the size of a tennis ball, and it was having mild pain also. I was frightened to see that. Immediately, I called my family doctor, Dr. Vaishali Bhagat. It was almost 10 o'clock at night. She asked me to come down to the clinic. When she observed, she said, "You have to take him to the pediatrician." But then she gave some homeopathic medicine. She gave one dose there itself, and she asked me to give the other dose after 2 hours. And she told me to take him to the pediatrician in the morning. You'll not believe, when in the morning when I got up and saw that his genitals were quite normal, the swelling subsided, and pain also was not there. And he was almost okay in a day or two. It was absolutely fine. Thank you. Hello, I'm.
So the result showed an effect, an acute prescribing. The dose was minimum, and the dose did take care of the ailment. Is not this a magic? Yes, putting this into the platform and glorifying this and making you all audiences understand the importance of this platform and delivering, giving it on this platform makes the homeopathy glorified. Let us see another case. And this case too has a chronic ailment which I practiced in my early days of my post graduation. And that time I was experimenting on 50 millisiemens scale. It was very different thesis, and nobody believed actually at that time about 50 millisiemens scale. And I said, let us take this experiment and make a thesis of it. And this is the case which is presented in front of you. You all know the condition of vitiligo, where the skin loses its pigments and the area turns discolored. This female had come into that OPD, the research OPD of mine. She was aged 50 years and had a localized vitiligo on the face at the belly spot. Now, this case, where the vitiligo happens to be on the belly spot on a female, has a stigma in the society. And it carries the stigma very badly. And it affects their family members and further the patient a lot. In the society, this is a stigma. It is still going on. But with the right homeopathic medicines and the similar, this turns into a miracle when we see that this patch absolutely disappears. So the case went on, and a video, and this case was periodically video filmed just because of its importance of my thesis. I went on with the local examination, and it was not only on this bendy spot, but also it was on the pre-auricular region. Now, this gave me a differential diagnosis of not a cosmetic allergic reaction to the herbindi or something else, but two symmetrical spots of hypopigmentation gives a confirmed diagnosis of vitiligo, which was found to be in the stage 7 of stationary 2. This was a visual diagnosis. So we went into her family history, which was diabetic. Father had an hypertensive and an ischemic heart diseases. There was no vitiligo in her family, nowhere else. There was nothing as a major history except she had anemia frequently. Her hemoglobin used to drop to 10. Her life space went into emotional stress since childhood, as her marriage was intercaste. She was a Maratha and her husband was a Brahmin. This resulted maybe by his son illness had a progressive motor neuron disease, which was Duchenne's dystrophy, and she had to nurse him. Her husband had gone through an angioplasty, and her daughter was not getting married. All the emotional stress went up to her, and she was bound to be at home, not to go out. After digging her life space and going through her husband, I'll just go to the next slide. She had depression, brooding, weeping in solitude, consolation aggravation, forsaken feeling. Her physical data showed desire to eat salty food, thermally hot, depigmentation patches on her skin, oily, shiny, greasy skin. She was prescribed natrum muriaticum in 50 millisiemen scale, and intercurrently she was prescribed tuberculinum 201. Her follow-up showed a repigmentation and total regression of white patch. She was gone through psychological counseling, and the regression took place gradually. And not only this, you can see her video when she was taken in 2003, after a year or so with progressive homeopathic doses, natrum muriaticum in LM potencies. I had raised the scale to 0/6 at that time, which was available. And the result is in front of you. This gave the patch clear. The female was happy, and she was thrilled by the treatment. She had propagated this to everyone around, and the mouth publicity gave my research OPD a full swing. So, showing the result of this chronic case gives us not only a message that when we are looking into the aphorism 272, that every dose, no matter how minute, it touches, on the contrary, to many nerves. We have to put faith on these cardinal principles, and nowadays the infinite doses is a modern quote. So less is more now. But all these goes through the scientific evidence. And as Sir rightly said, that we do have to have a randomized controlled trials. And these randomized controlled trials in homeopathy will only show that, yes, homeopathy has made a difference in the society. And these microscopic doses would give more relief than anything else. So I take this opportunity to thank you all my dear NJH family members, the viewers, audiences, and the budding homeopath for joining and patiently hearing me. This gives me an opportunity to thank Vishpala ma'am, that she's always been an idol for me, and to this platform, whom I was introduced by Dr. Ajit Kulkarni. He has been my guru right from my pursuing my post-graduation, introduced me to this NJH and to Vishpala man. And they put on forth so much faith on me that I learned so many skillful homeopathy. I have been able to deliver my first workshop of endometriosis and infertility, that all the NJH members boosted my confidence and promoted me to give more and more presentations. My Dubai seminar, my GRD, all